Hello, and we are back again answering more questions about LinkedIn. This is Kathy Yurgis with BG3, and today we're going to answer the question I get a lot is, should I accept that invitation to connect? I don't know the person. I don't know what they want. Should I accept it? Okay, so LinkedIn actually says you should not accept invitations from people that you don't know, and more importantly, you shouldn't send invitations to connect with people that you don't know. But that is really against the whole point of networking. Okay, so if LinkedIn is a networking site, we want to expand our circle of contacts, and we want to be introduced to new people, and we want to learn from new individuals. And so part of the goal of networking is to expand that circle of influence that you have. So I do not say that you should accept every invitation, but I also say you shouldn't reject every invitation that you get. So if you have questions about this as we go along, feel free to jot them in the comment section and I'll be able to answer them. But there's 3 areas that I recommend people take a look at before they hit that accept or ignore button on LinkedIn invitations. The first is the invitation itself. Okay. Sometimes on the mobile app or even in the new desktop version, you don't always see the full message of the invitation that was sent. And I encourage you to click through so you can see the full message to see if they personalize the message, or is it just the default invitation that was sent to you. The default one doesn't really tell me that they want to put a whole lot of effort into this relationship. And so if they can't personalize the invitation, I don't know how willing they'll be to help, or what kind of information they'll be sharing down the road. So always make sure you're personalizing the invitation. But that's one area to look at if you're trying to decide to accept the invitation or not. The other thing is, does the invitation give any indication of what they want? Okay, so, just saying simply, I'd love to connect is great, but why do you want to connect? Is there something you read on my profile? Is there something I posted recently? Is there something you saw about my company? Is there somebody that we know in common? Why do you think we should meet? Okay, so personalize that as well. And then kind of the third area there, which can relate to both the invitation and things in the profile, are look for typos or look for poor grammar. Things like that are often a trigger of spam. And so, one, you want to make sure that you are communicating properly and clearly without errors. But that's usually an indication of any type of spam, whether it's email or if it's in LinkedIn or social media. So look for typos and grammar issues. The next area I want you to look at is actually the LinkedIn profile of the person. So do they have a professional image? Okay, so if they are kind of hiding or masking themselves and don't want to tell you who they are or show you who they are, again, I'm not going to be that willing to accept that invitation to connect. So are they sharing a professional image and not hiding behind a logo or not hiding behind an image that you can't see? And is their profile filled out completely? Or do they have just a few bare facts in there, or headlines or titles inserted that don't tell a whole lot about them? So are they sharing more of their story? Are they personalizing it? Are they customizing it? And can you get a sense of who they are from their profile? Third thing to look at there is, where are they from? Okay, it has a location, so you can see where they're from. And obviously, if they're not from your country, if you don't do business in another country, you're going to want to evaluate that a little bit more than just simply accepting the invitation. So are they located in an area that you do business, or that you would like to do business, or that you have other mutual connections? Do they have any endorsements or recommendations? Okay, so a lot of people can quickly put up a LinkedIn profile and fill out some of the bare areas of that, but it takes time to gather endorsements and recommendations. And so what are people thinking about them? Are they endorsing them? Do they have full written recommendations? If they do, great. It's going to help, alleviate any concern that they might be a spam or a fake account. But you want to read what those people have to say about them as well. And are they active on LinkedIn? So are they just connecting with everybody, hitting that nice blue button to connect to build their network? Or are they actually participating and engaging on LinkedIn? Okay. Are they publishing? If they're publishing their own posts, that's great. But not everybody is publishing their own content. So are they posting, liking, commenting? What are they doing on LinkedIn? They should actually be there to engage and to network. Okay. And then the third area to consider is mutual connections. So looking overall, the connections, one, who do you know in common? Okay. And more importantly, what do you know or think of those people that you have mutual connections for? And I'll give an example here. I was invited to connect by somebody, and I saw that they were connected to 6 or 8 people in my network. But I also know that those individuals that they're connected to aren't super active on LinkedIn, okay? And don't maybe put as much effort into cultivating a solid network. And so I actually reached out to these individuals and said, I see you're connected to so-and-so, do you know them? And in all the instances, they actually didn't know the person. They'd never talked to them, they were just connected. I then went and did a reverse Google image search, which is another thing you can do on their profile picture. You can do a reverse Google image search, and found out that they were using that profile picture for a number of different profiles, and it was coming up under a number of different names on LinkedIn. So that was a huge red flag to me that this was not a real person, that they were trying to do something else. And so obviously I didn't connect with them, and in fact I reported them to LinkedIn so that LinkedIn could look further into their account, and I notified the other individuals that were connected to them that they might want to unconnect and remove them from their network because this person wasn't valid. So, you know, if they are a very active person on LinkedIn and you have a mutual connection, that's all going to be good, okay? And that carries a lot of weight. The last thing is to look at how many connections that they have. Do they have a number of connections, or are they just starting out? Typically, if they're just starting out, they're going to start building their network with people that they know before they launch into everybody else. So if they have under 100 connections or even under 200 connections, and you don't know them, you know, that might raise some red flags, and consider if you're going to connect with them or not. The final thing, and really the most important, is your gut instinct. Okay. The final litmus test is, would you be willing to spend 15 minutes in a phone conversation with this person? Okay. If not, what's the point of having them in your network? So if you're not willing to invest at least 15 minutes in a phone conversation with this person, or even meet them for coffee somewhere, why would you connect with them on LinkedIn? Because the point is to connect, get to know each other, see how you can help each other. So if you're not willing to invest 10, 15 minutes in a phone conversation to learn more about them, why would you connect with them on LinkedIn? So those are my tips. I'll have a handy guide posted in the link in a little bit. And as always, let me know how I can help you, and post your LinkedIn comments on my Facebook page, and I'd be happy to answer them in an upcoming Facebook Live. Thanks, everyone.